Have you ever noticed how resentment doesn't just live in your thoughts? It settles into your shoulders, your stomach, your breath. It can be so quiet, so familiar that you don't even call it resentment anymore. You just call it my life. You call it what happened. You call it the way people are. And yet your body keeps whispering a different truth. It whispers through tension, through fatigue, through that tight feeling in your chest when a name comes up or a memory rises or you see a photo and your whole system contracts. Dear one, if you are carrying resentment today, I want you to know something right away. You are not wrong for feeling what you feel. You are not broken, and you are not weak. Resentment is often the part of you that tried to protect you when you didn't feel safe, valued, or heard. But I also want to share this gently, with great love. When resentment stays too long, it can begin to eat away at your peace. It can drain your energy. It can make your body feel like it's always bracing for the next disappointment. And many people discover over time that what they are holding in their hearts can show up in how they sleep, how they breathe, how they digest, how they move through the day. This isn't about blaming you, and it's not about forcing forgiveness before you're ready. This is about kindness. This is about listening. This is about giving your body permission to soften again. I've learned that healing begins the moment we are willing to say, I don't want to carry this poison anymore. Not because the past didn't matter, but because you matter. Your life matters. Your breath matters. So take a gentle breath with me now. Just one, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you exhale, allow a soft thought to arrive. I am willing to feel better. I am willing to be free. There is such power in willingness. You don't have to leap across a canyon in one step. You only have to take your next small step toward peace. Resentment is often the part of you that stayed on duty long after the moment passed. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine a cup of tea, warm, soothing, meant to comfort you. But if you leave that tea sitting too long, it cools. It turns bitter. It stains the cup. And then even when you pour in fresh water, the bitterness clings. Resentment can be like that. It begins as a valid reaction to pain, an internal alarm that says something is not okay. And in the moment, it may have helped you survive. It may have helped you hold your dignity. It may have helped you remember what you would not accept again. But when that feeling stays steeping inside you for days, months, years, it can start to change the flavor of your whole life. It can change how you interpret people, how you expect the world to treat you. It can make you tense before anything even happens because your body learned to anticipate hurt. Many people don't realize resentment is also physical. It can live in a clenched jaw, in a tight throat, in shoulders that feel like they're carrying a sack of stones. It can live in the belly as a knot or a heaviness or a restlessness that won't settle. And sweetheart, none of this means you did anything wrong. It means you are human. It means your nervous system tried to keep you safe. It means you have been strong for a long time. I discovered something that changed my life. The body is always honest. The body remembers what the mind tries to minimize. The body keeps the score, not as punishment, but as information. It is as if your body is saying, are we still on guard? Are we still fighting? Are we still bracing? And if the answer is yes, day after day your body pays a price. Not because you deserve pain, but because constant inner conflict takes energy. And your energy is precious. So here is a gentle question, just a question. You don't have to force an answer. What is this resentment costing you? Is it costing you sleep? Is it costing you joy? Is it costing you softness in your heart? Is it costing you your ability to be present with the people who are actually here now? When you are ready, I invite you to place one hand over your heart and one hand on your belly. Feel the warmth of your own touch. Let it be a message. I am here with you. And softly, without pressure, say in your own mind, I release this from my body now. Not all at once, not perfectly, just now, in this moment. Breathe in gently and breathe out. I release this from my body now. Give yourself a little space after you say it. Let the words land like a feather, not a hammer. And remember, your willingness is already healing. One of the most healing truths I've learned is this: forgiveness is not saying what happened was okay. So many people resist forgiveness because it feels like a betrayal of their own pain. And I understand that. I truly do. Because there is a part of us that thinks, if I forgive, then I'm saying it didn't matter. If I forgive, then they win. If I forgive, then I'm opening the door for it to happen again. But dear one, forgiveness is not approval. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is not inviting the same behavior back into your life. Forgiveness is release. Forgiveness is choosing to take your energy back. Forgiveness is saying, I will not keep drinking this bitterness every day to prove that I was hurt. Sometimes we think resentment is a form of strength. It can feel like armor. It can feel like a way to hold someone accountable inside our minds. But resentment often keeps you tied to the very thing that wounded you. It keeps the story alive inside your cells. It keeps your body in a state of readiness, as if the past is still happening now. And the truth is, you deserve more than that. I've learned that you can hold two truths at once. You can honor what happened, and you can choose peace. You can acknowledge your anger, and you can let your body rest. You can remember your boundaries, and you can release the poison. This is a very important point, sweetheart. Releasing resentment does not mean you become naive. It does not mean you stop discerning. It does not mean you stop protecting your heart. It means you stop punishing yourself with the memory. Have you ever noticed how sometimes the person you resent is not even thinking about it anymore? They may have moved on. They may have forgotten. They may not even understand the impact. And yet you are still carrying it. That is not justice. That is suffering. So let's redefine forgiveness in a way your heart can accept. Forgiveness is the gift you give to yourself. It's the moment you say, my peace matters more than my pain. Now, I'm going to be very gentle here. If what happened to you was deep, if it was traumatic, if it was ongoing, this inner work can be supportive, but it is not a replacement for professional care and support. Sometimes healing asks for a team. Sometimes it asks for a guide. There is no shame in that. You deserve support, and still, even with support, you can begin with something small today. Here is your practice for this section. Think of forgiveness as loosening your grip, one finger at a time. Place your hand on your heart again. Breathe and say very softly, I am willing to see this differently. You don't have to know how yet. Just be willing. I am willing to see this differently. I choose peace over poison. My body deserves kindness. Let there be a pause. Let your nervous system hear you. And if emotion rises, let it rise. Tears are not failure. Tears are release. I release this from my body now. Under anger, there is usually a tender place that simply wanted to feel safe and valued. If resentment is the smoke, there is often a fire underneath it, and the fire is usually not hatred. The fire is hurt. The fire is grief. The fire is disappointment. The fire is the child in you who didn't understand why love came with conditions. why kindness disappeared, why someone's words cut so deeply. Many people think they are resenting someone else, but when they sit quietly, they discover they are also resenting themselves. I should have known better. I should have left sooner. I shouldn't have trusted. I shouldn't be this way. Sweetheart, listen to me. That self-resentment can be especially heavy because you carry it everywhere, and it can keep you trapped in shame. I want you to know this. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. You made choices from the information you had, from the safety you had, from the love you had, from the resources you had, and if you knew then what you know now, you might have done something different, but you did not know then. So the kindest thing you can do is to stop punishing your past self. I've learned that healing often begins when we meet our inner child with compassion instead of criticism. That inner part of you doesn't need more lectures. It needs safety. It needs reassurance. It needs a warm presence saying, I'm here. You are not alone. Now, I want you to imagine your resentment as a guard standing at the door of your heart. This guard has been working overtime. It has been on duty day and night, scanning for danger. And at first, that guard was helpful. It said, be careful. It said, don't let them in. It said, remember. But sweetheart, even guards get tired. Even armor becomes heavy. So what if, just for a moment, you stopped fighting the guard and you thanked it? You might say, thank you for trying to protect me, and then you might offer it a new job. Instead of guarding with bitterness, it can guard with wisdom, with boundaries, with clear choices, because there is a difference between being protected and being poisoned. Here is a practice you can try today. Write this sentence on a piece of paper. What I really needed was, and let yourself finish it honestly. What I really needed was respect. What I really needed was kindness. What I really needed was honesty. What I really needed was to be chosen. What I really needed was to feel safe. When you name what you needed, you stop blaming yourself for needing it. You stop calling your needs too much. You honor your humanity. And then, gently, place your hand on your heart and say, it's okay to need what I needed. It's okay to feel what I feel. I am learning to give myself what I needed. Breathe. And again, softly, I release this from my body now. Let that be enough for today. When we replay an old hurt, it's as if we keep paying rent to a painful memory. Resentment often lives in repetition. The mind replays scenes. The mind writes speeches. The mind imagines the moment you finally say the perfect thing and they finally understand. And sometimes, in those mental movies, you finally win. But sweetheart, your body doesn't know it's a movie. Your body feels it as real. Your heart speeds up. Your muscles tighten. Your stomach churns. Your breath becomes shallow. The stress chemistry begins again and again. That's why resentment can feel exhausting. It is not only the original pain, it is the constant reliving. It's like living with a radio that keeps playing the same harsh song. At first you notice it, then you get used to it, and then you forget how peaceful silence can be. I've learned something very important. You can't heal what you keep activating. Now, this doesn't mean you will never remember. It doesn't mean the memory vanishes. It means you change your relationship with the memory. You stop letting it own your nervous system. You begin to say, that was then. This is now. And that simple distinction can be very powerful. One way resentment drains you is through what I call the energy leak. It's like having a tiny hole in your bucket. You can pour in rest, good food, supplements, vacations, distractions, but the bucket still leaks because the resentment keeps draining your inner resources. You may notice you're more irritable. more tired, less patient, less interested in joy. Not because joy isn't available, but because your inner system is busy managing a threat that is no longer present. Sweetheart, peace is not something you earn by being perfect. Peace is something you allow by releasing what no longer belongs in your body. Let me share a small image. Imagine your heart as a home, and resentment is like a room you keep locked with something spoiled inside. You don't open the door because it hurts, but the smell seeps under the door. It touches the whole house. It changes the air. Healing is not about forcing that door open and staring at the pain. Healing is about opening a window first, letting in air, letting in light, letting the house breathe. Here is an application you can try the next time the replay begins. When you catch the mental movie starting, pause, name it gently. Oh, this is the replay. Then do one simple thing. Take one slow breath, and as you exhale, say, that was then, this is now. Then bring your attention to something real in this moment. The feeling of your feet on the floor, the weight of your hands, the sound in the room, the air on your skin. You are teaching your body a new truth. I am safe now. And if you want to add the anchor phrase, you can. I release this from my body now. No drama, no force, just release. Over time, many people find that these tiny interruptions begin to create new pathways. The replay loses its grip. The body begins to trust the present again. And dear one, you deserve to live in the present. That is where your life is. Let me share a gentle practice you can try right now, even if you're not ready to forgive yet. Sometimes the word forgiveness feels too big, too spiritual, too far away. So let's start with something smaller. Let's start with relief, because relief is kindness in action. I'm going to guide you through a simple release practice that can help you soften the body's grip on resentment. This is not a performance. This is not about doing it perfectly. This is about meeting yourself with love. If it feels comfortable, allow your eyes to soften or close them. Place one hand over your heart. Place the other hand on the area where you feel resentment in your body, your throat, your stomach, your chest, your shoulders, wherever it lives. Now, take a slow breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine the breath moving through that tight place like warm water. Gentle, patient, not forcing, just flowing. Inhale again. Exhale slowly, and now very softly say, I am willing to release this a little. Just a little. Inhale. Exhale, I am willing to release this a little. Now, I want you to imagine your resentment like a river dam. It has held back emotion for a long time, and behind the dam are feelings that wanted to move. Grief, anger, sadness, fear. We're not blowing up the dam. We are opening a small gate, just enough for some water to flow. So as you breathe, imagine a small stream of tension leaving your body, not all of it, just some. And repeat this anchor phrase, I release this from my body now. Pause. Inhale. Exhale. I release this from my body now. If your mind argues, that's okay. Minds argue. Just return to your breath and your hands and your kindness. Now add this sentence. If it feels true, I can let go and still honor what happened. Inhale, exhale, I can let go and still honor what happened. There's something very important here. You are not erasing your story. You are releasing the strain it has placed on your body. You are telling your system, we don't have to live there anymore. Now, gently bring to mind the idea of compassion, not for the other person if that feels too hard, but for you. Compassion for the version of you who had to endure this. compassion for your tired body, compassion for your brave heart, and say, my body deserves kindness. I choose peace over poison. I am willing to see this differently. Take one more slow breath, and as you exhale, imagine your shoulders dropping 1 millimeter. That's all. Sometimes healing is 1 millimeter. Open your eyes when you're ready and notice, even if it's subtle, what has shifted. More space, a softer jaw, a deeper breath. Sweetheart, that is your body responding to love. You can return to this practice anytime, in the car, in the shower, before sleep, after a triggering text, after an old memory, and each time you do it, you are telling yourself, I choose me. I choose freedom. You can release resentment and still have beautiful, strong boundaries. I want to talk about boundaries because this is where many people get stuck. They think, if I let this resentment go, I will let them hurt me again. No, dear one. No. You can release resentment and still say no. You can release resentment and still walk away. You can release resentment and still require respect. Resentment is not the same as wisdom. Resentment is heavy and hot. Wisdom is clear and calm. Resentment says, I will never trust again. Wisdom says, I will trust myself to notice the signs. Resentment says, people are terrible. Wisdom says, some people are not safe for my heart. Resentment says, I must keep reliving it so I don't forget. Wisdom says, I remember and I choose peace. Boundaries are self-love in action. They are not walls built from bitterness. They are doors with healthy locks. And sweetheart, you get to decide who has access to you. Let me share another image. Imagine your heart has a lock that got rusty from old storms. The lock isn't broken, it's just stiff. And if you try to force it, it hurts. But if you treat it with care, with oil, with patience, it begins to turn again. That oil is self-love. Self-love says, I will not abandon myself to keep the peace. Self-love says, I can be kind and still be firm. Self-love says, I do not need to prove my pain by carrying it, so how do we set boundaries without resentment? We ground in truth. We speak simply. We stop over-explaining. We choose words that are clean. Here are some examples you might practice just for yourself. I'm not available for that. That doesn't work for me. I'm choosing something different now. I need respect in order to stay in this conversation. I'm going to end this call now. Notice how these statements do not attack. They do not beg. They do not justify. They simply name your choice. When you practice clean boundaries, your body learns safety. It learns, I can protect myself without holding poison. And if you find yourself shaking or guilty or afraid, that's okay. Boundaries can feel unfamiliar if you were trained to please, to tolerate, to keep quiet. So be gentle. Practice in small ways, one sentence at a time. Then, after you set a boundary, do something loving to discharge the old tension. Place a hand on your heart, breathe, and say, I am proud of me. I am learning to honor myself. And again, I release this from my body now. Because sometimes resentment is what we use when we don't feel we have choices. But you do have choices. You can choose distance. You can choose clarity. You can choose support. You can choose your own healing. And that is not selfish, sweetheart. That is life-giving. Your story can change without denying the past, because your power lives in the present. The most beautiful thing I've discovered is that we are not trapped by what happened. We are shaped by it, yes. We learn from it, yes. But we do not have to live inside it forever. Resentment keeps you facing backward. It keeps your eyes fixed on the wound. Healing turns you gently toward your life again, and it does not say, that didn't hurt. It says, I will not let it keep hurting me every day. So now we come to a deeper layer, the meaning you gave the experience. Sometimes resentment isn't only about what someone did, it's about what you concluded. I am not important. I don't matter. People leave. Love is unsafe. I can't trust. These are not facts, sweetheart. They are beliefs formed in pain, and beliefs can be changed. Not by forcing yourself to think positive while your body is screaming, but by offering your system a new truth, slowly, consistently, lovingly. Here is something you can try. Take one belief that resentment has been feeding, just one. Maybe it is, I'm not respected. Now don't fight it, just notice it. Then offer a new statement that supports healing, something believable, like, I am learning to respect myself. Or, I am willing to choose relationships that honor me. Or, I am becoming safe in my own care. You see, when you begin to respect yourself, the world often begins to reflect that back over time in many ways, because you make different choices. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. And even when the outer world takes time to shift, your inner world can begin to soften right now. Let's bring back our affirmation set gently. I am willing to see this differently. I choose peace over poison. My body deserves kindness. I can let go and still honor what happened. Say them slowly, like you are planting seeds in good soil. And remember, seeds do not bloom the same day they are planted. They need time, they need water, they need light, they need patience. Your healing is like a garden. Some days you will feel strong. Some days you will feel tender. Some days the resentment will flare again. That does not mean you failed. It means an old pattern is asking to be loved out of your system. So when it rises, meet it with compassion instead of shame. Oh, hello, old feeling. I see you, and I choose peace. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe. I release this from my body now. And then choose one small action that affirms your new story. Drink water. Stretch. Take a short walk. Write one honest sentence. Say no. Say yes to rest. Call a safe friend. Turn towards something that nourishes you. Your life is not meant to be consumed by the past. Your life is meant to be lived. And every time you choose softness, you are reclaiming your life. Now, sweetheart, let's bring everything together in a way your heart can hold. You came here carrying something heavy, and you may not have set it down completely, and that's okay. But perhaps even for a moment you felt what it could be like to loosen your grip. You may have noticed that resentment is not only a thought, it's a bodily experience, a contraction, a guarding, a bracing. And now you know you can begin to soothe that guarding with compassion. You learned that forgiveness is not approval, it is release. You learned that boundaries and peace can exist together. You learn that the mind's replay keeps the body activated, and you can interrupt the replay with breath and presence. You learn that underneath anger is often a tender need that deserves to be honored, not shamed. And most importantly, you remembered this: your body deserves kindness. Your heart deserves rest. Your life deserves more than bitterness. So let's do a final gentle practice together. Place your hand on your heart, take a slow breath in, and breathe out. Now say these words softly, like a lullaby to your own nervous system. I am willing to see this differently. I choose peace over poison. My body deserves kindness. I can let go and still honor what happened. Pause. Inhale again. Exhale. And now repeat the anchor phrase with tenderness. I release this from my body now. Again, I release this from my body now. And one more time. I release this from my body now. If you feel emotion, let it move. If you feel resistance, let it be there. You do not have to fight your feelings. You only have to love yourself through them. And dear one, if there are days when you forget, when the resentment takes over, when you feel pulled back into the old story, be gentle. Come back. Return to your breath. Return to your hands. Return to the truth. You are learning. You are healing. You are growing. You are allowed to be a work in progress and still be worthy of love. As you move forward from here, I invite you to treat your inner world like a sacred home. Open windows, let in air, let in light. Choose what you allow to stay inside. Choose what you release. You do not need to carry bitterness to prove your pain was real. Your pain was real, and your healing can be real too. Go softly, sweetheart. Go bravely, and go with love, because you are worth the peace you are choosing. One breath, one boundary, one gentle release at a time.